All right, it's 7:05. We'll go ahead and get into it.
All right.
All right. Y'all see the screen? Is that
Yes.
calendar page up?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Well, shalom, everyone. Welcome to the Prophecy Vine calendar study. Today's Zadok Priestly calendar date is the 8th day of the ninth month, as you can see here. The week of Shechaniah. He's number 10 in the divine priestly order. And Shechaniah means Yahuwah dwells in him. And so, since we're in the ninth month, this means the sun is in the first gate for 31 days. And this gate is the southernmost gate. So, the sun is going to turn and it's going to begin its journey back north. But it'll be in this gate for 30 more days in the 10th month as well. Um, and remember, we are in the first year of the priestly courses. And next year, we're going to be in the second. That means there's going to be no intercalation. We're just going to run 364 and no more. Uh, so there will be no intercalation. Here at Prophecy Vine, we affirm the seventh day Shabbat that was established at creation and has remained in an unbroken weekly cycle of 6 days of work, and on the seventh you rest. There is no one or no thing that is mighty enough to break Yahuwah's divine pattern of seven. We affirm the 7 day Shabbat. All right. So today we're going to look into the Mishmarot and the patterns through the Jubilees and how they line up through times past and events, uh, biblical biblical chronology, and all that good stuff. We were on it was a couple Shabbats ago when Brother Johnathan was doing a presentation on Daniel's 70th week and kind of just said, hey, a lot of this stuff matches up to Gina's information regarding the Mishmarot and anchoring it to 2019. And that is this document here. So we started the cycle um, the first year in 2019 in Gamul based on the full moon on Wednesday on an equinox. And that's what we glean from Mishmarot A 4Q320, where it says to show it from the east and to cause it to shine in the middle of the Shemaim in the foundation of the creation from evening till morning. And the translator here put there is full moon. It doesn't say that, but it does say dukkha, this word this is a brand new word that appeared in these scrolls. And so we get that from there. And we also get it from 4Q 3, which one is that? 319. It's light on the fourth day of the week, the creation, and the fourth day of Gamul. And you get these signs, these ot. This is the Otiot sign scroll. So let's go back to that one that I just had. Boom. All right. And if you've watched the latest video, I put this in there. Wow, what happened? I showed you that from the book of Ezra and also from Jubilees, how this cycle lines up. It was a really cool pattern to find out that um, this Mishmarot cycle lined up with Moshe's return, their exit from Egypt, their first year in the wilderness, and now we know that they built the tabernacle in that second year. It was the first year the tabernacle was up and running. And that's where we see that there was a priestly consecration of 7 days. And remember, we put our intercalation week right at year six or at the end of year six. So to me, that was a really good, solid, perfect match. And now I kind of want to get into Gina and John's information. Gina, what were you explaining to me? I think it was about Messiah's birth. It was, we'll get over there.
So John brought up a lot of good information, and it made me think and go back and study, where is he getting this year 27? And so when I did, I found out there is some different discrepancies um, with the book of Luke, and when Herod had died, and when the Messiah had uh, was born.
Okay.
And the information that I had gotten start with a few years ago was only that he was born in '06. But if you check into, and I think I sent you some links to some papers that I found out, and if you
Yes.
put all of the information in Luke, because Luke says that the Messiah started his ministry when he was 30 years old, right? So in doing that, I found out that John was correct, that that was a year 27 on his timeline,
Okay.
and that would have put the discrepancy is the Messiah was either born in '04 or '06. So the '04 is correct, and that would put him 30 years old in 27. So I'm really grateful that John brought that information out, and it caused me to go back and rethink and look into some more information, and put that timeline. So that would make the Messiah actually born in a first year with Gamal, and then he started his ministry in 27 uh, as John stated, and that was with Gamal too.
So right here
Yes,
is 27 BC,
yes.
or that'd be 20 AD, 27 AD.
AD or CE. You can write it common era or AD, but Avi just had me make the paperwork say AD. So um, anyway, I'm that's one I guess thing I have to change on my paperwork. It's not '06. It's '04 that he was born, and then that made him 30 years old in 27 to start his ministry. And then it makes him just like we had talked about. Um, so he in 30, then he announces the sabbatical year, the year of release, right?
Uh-huh.
Before he is put onto the stake the next March.
Yeah.
So that all lines up with the timeline that John had showed us, I believe. Is that correct, John?
Yes, sister.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna go
Then,
back up here because are you saying that we need to change?
yes, see, I have down there that the birth of John, John and the Messiah were both born in the same year, of course, 6 months apart, right?
Okay.
Yes.
But according to Luke and then the history of the kings, um, '04 is because Herod, they try to claim that Herod died in '04, which is not true. He mostly died, they said, more accurately because, and the only reason they say that he died in '04 was because there was a partial eclipse, and that was because of the Talmud, I believe. But there was a full eclipse, mostly actually two in '01. So, and he was still there, and he pronounced the death of kids, 2 years and under, right?
Mhm.
So he couldn't have died the same year that the Messiah was born.
Okay.
So that was a whole long study that I had to go through, and that I had never heard before. And that did put the Messiah uh, and John the Baptist being born in '04. Like I said, the scholars were, split between '06 and '04. But in order for what was it, Tiberius, or the reign of him to be the 15th year, it was 27. So it had to be '04 for the Messiah to be 30 years old. Does that make sense? Am I explaining it correctly,
You're saying
John?
Yeah, yeah, you
Is that
are.
the information you got?
Yeah, I've got the spreadsheet here so we can all see it. It makes more sense to have something to view at whoever.
Exactly.
That way, whoever's got like, oh, you're trying to
So
put it together in your
that's
head.
the wrong '04, Robert. It would be up there with Gamal,
right.
uh, BCE. So he's born,
Oh, okay.
yes,
Gotcha.
yeah, before the Common Era. Okay, there you go.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, John. I'm sorry. Um,
That's okay.
I just want to make sure I
Um,
got this correct. But with my information that I've studied, does it match what you found out with the book of Luke, Matthew, and Luke?
you You know what, sister? I just went on Ruach kind of, and then I didn't study the book of Luke. I just went on other information that I had, and I was just going off, just trying to get these numbers because we know that Yahuwah he's an Elohim of numbers, and
Mhm.
so I was basically just trying to get the numbers to work. And I knew that if I could spark some interest in this, that the Ruach would work with you and brother Robert, and that it would move, and it is.
Oh, well,
And
that
so,
that was evident at the feast when we started talking about the sign of the woman. And I told
yeah,
you, take this information and go work on it, right? So
yeah. So that's where it started. You're right, sister. That's where it started. It all started because I was already getting the idea. There's something here. Now we're not trying to set a date because no one knows the day or the
right.
hour. We're not looking for that. We're just looking, are we in the tribulation? That's it. And we, because we know that there immediately after the tribulation there's going to be a sign of the Son of Man in the sky. It still doesn't mean that he's coming back. It just means that the sign is going to be up there. And so I'm very careful to give dates. But as far as I can honestly say, I guess all of us here together here, we can honestly say that I feel comfortable saying that we are in the tribulation,
Yeah.
according to understanding, of course.
Okay. Well,
I want to
I
add
think by
something.
the history
Oh, go ahead, sis.
that I have looked up is proven more that the Messiah was born in '04. Um,
Yeah,
Going by the scriptures, and not
yeah,
going off the Talmud and this and that.
yeah.
Uh,
The Jews are not going to tell us when the Messiah was born. Some of the Pharisees and some of the ones in Judaism, they probably know he is the Messiah. But they have the anti-Messiah spirit in them, and they don't. It's working against them. In other words,
Yeah,
Um,
they're not exactly saying the Messiah was born in such and such, but they're giving different dates for different kings and when Herod
oh,
died and when this one took reign and this and that, but they're not giving the full history that you would
okay.
find other places. Is what I'm
Oh,
saying. If you check out
And these
more
pre
historical background, I printed off some stuff.
the priestly
okay.
courses, the sabbatical year, and the Jubilees are actually telling on them because when
Exactly.
I see. Yeah, okay. I guess it's
yeah,
exposing
Yeah,
their lies. Okay, gotcha.
they're being found out.
Yes.
right.
Did you want to share that spreadsheet, John?
Sure, sure. Yeah, yeah. Let's share it.
Go ahead and request.
A request. Let's see. Let me remember how I do this. Um, is it the share button? Yeah, send request. There you go.
Pencil.
There we go. Okay. Can everybody see the screen?
No, sir.
I can't.
Oh, you can't? Okay, okay. Let's see what's going on here. This might be my fault here. Let me see. Oh, let me see. Let me end it. So what screen am I? Okay. Oh, I gotta hit okay, okay. Um, let's see.
Let me
What
mention
about
this real quick while you find that. I got
y-
a lot of the information from the Associates of Biblical Research
okay.
compared to, like I said, the Talmud and different stuff.
Okay. Yeah, the enemy's not gonna want us to see or search it out, but they do sometimes do give us a little bit of information. How about now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, okay, good. Um, okay. So this is part of the screen that I had that I made on the video, and I started with 457 with Artaxerxes when he made the decree to Esdras, which is in the blue, and that's what kicked off the 490 years, the 70 weeks. And now I'm now studying the Jubilees now, and I found some interesting things on that. Hold on. Um, and so I I went from here. I went to 929 Daniel 925. The decree, and this was given to Esdras, was to restore and build Jerusalem to Hamashiach the Prince shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks, which is 69 weeks. And then we know here Esdras 7 and 8. That's when Esdras the king uh, on the fifth month. That's when Esdras went out to Jerusalem. And so 464 started I mean, 464 is when Artaxerxes came to be a king. 7 years later is when he gave this decree. So 457 would start the 70 weeks. Um, and then to convert to AD, there's a little formula. You add the BC to the AD year and then subtract one. We're going to go to 34 and we get 491 minus one to convert, and you get 490 years. And so 34 is the year that we're looking at. And of course, 27 is when Messiah was immersed by John and to bring in the order of Melchizedek. And that was a Shemitah week um, around Sukkot. That's when his ministry started. Let's see. And then three and a half years later, his ministry would end in 31 AD. And then Lazarus was raised in 28 AD, which plays an important role in our future around 2028, 2,000 years later. Um, let me see. Let me see. Okay, and then 30 AD, Messiah Yahushua decreed not one stone be put upon another, and that was also what you said. He announced the year release, the year of Jubilee, uh, in a day around Day of Atonement there. Um, let me see. Okay, and so at 31 AD, um, this is when he dies. He's strengthened in the covenant, and he was crucified and resurrected. And this is fulfilling the Daniel 9:27 prophecy, which a lot of people tend to give it to the anti-Messiah, but it is not. It is the Messiah. Messiah shall strengthen the existing covenant with many for 1 week. Uh, this is the 70th week. In the middle of the week, in 31 AD, he shall cause the sacrifice and the offering to cease. This was the red heifer sacrifice that ended there. He was the last heifer sacrifice. And this still began to fully manifest and come to a completion in 70 AD when the temple would be destroyed. And then I mentioned the name in the paleo, how it represents in the name itself. It's telling you he's going to be crucified. He's going to be the second Adam, the first Adam, second Adam, the peg, the cross. He's the strong arm of Yahuwah. So there's a lot in the name that's pointing to his death and resurrection. Behold the nail, behold the hand. And then we have in 34 AD, that's when Stephen was stoned around Sukkot. And it ended the 70 weeks. It ended the 70 weeks right there. And that's when Shaul takes the good news of the covenant to the nations, to the Gentiles. And then in 70 AD, the Jerusalem temple is destroyed on the Shabbat on the 9th of Av, 40 years exactly as he prophesied. But I want to add something too that I've been working on. And this is confirmation that we're on the right track, because Israel entered the promised land in the year 1412. And so if you go look at the book here, let me pull it up because I like to show here. What is it? In the book of Jubilees 50, it reads, therefore I have ordained for you yearly Shabbats and the years and the Jubileem. There are 49 Jubileem from the days of Adam until this day, and 1 week and 2 years, and there are still 40 years to come for learning. So this 1 week and 2 years is 9 years, which is very prophetic, and there's a clue hidden within this verse, and it says here, and there's still 40 years. This is the 40 years in the wilderness, and remember, 40 is a time of testing. Messiah was tested for 40 days. Israel was in the wilderness for 40 years. From 30, when he decreed that not one stone be put upon another, it was exactly 40 years on the 9th of Av, exactly the same day that the first temple went down with Nebuchadnezzar. Rome destroyed the second temple on that same day. And so it says here that let's see, the 49 years to come, and this was to learn the commandments of Yahuwah. So this applies to us right now. I believe we're in that time of testing to learn the commandments also until they pass over the land of Canaan, crossing the Jordan to the west. We're also going to enter into his rest when he comes. And so right now, the Ruach, the spirit of prophecy, the times of refreshing, the Ruach HaKodesh, he's awakened us to the covenant. And so we are now learning his commandments and putting it into practice, preparing us as the bride to go and cross the Jordan into Canaan, into the promised land. And so it says these years are very important because I did the math and then I compared it to what you and Sister Gina, and it was in 3862 in the start of Gabul. That's when Adam came into the picture, and then you subtract 2,450 years, which is 50 Jubilees times 49, and then you get your the 1 week in 2 years. That's 2,450. And so we're matching up in our numbers. And I mean, I'm
Uh,
not even calling you guys to discuss it. It's happening.
what year did you say you thought they went into the promised land?
They went into the promised land on the year 1412.
Amen.
Okay, great. Perfect. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing that like
Yes,
you've dug up, it matches to this.
right.
Yeah.
Independent sources.
I'm so glad that Yahuwah, the Ruach, has put us together. Um, you know, um, I'm not that well in the calendar, but I'm good with numbers, and He's given me that gift. But I have to rely on you, on all of us. All of us have something to give to make it happen.
We
This
have
is the
to work
only
together.
way it's gonna. Yes, we have to work in love. There's got to be no spitefulness, no ill will. It's got to be all about not for us, but for the kingdom. For He hid this for such a long time, and only those that treat it as something special will receive this gift. It is something that He hid from Yasharel, from Israel, for such a long time. This is very, very special to Him, and to the Messiah. And so, yeah, um,
I agree with you. That's like, I didn't even think about it when we put the timeline and matched it with the stars all those years and the moon and the stars together as being a prophecy. But then Robert came up and he said, this is like prophecy because we won't see this again in our lifetime. And that,
ah,
and that was left in the Dead Sea Scrolls for us right now in this time
Mm.
yes, it
to
was.
see.
That goes immediately what Messiah said. Nothing hidden shall be left unturned. And that is for those that seek His will, and that walk in covenant. This is all about covenant, covenant,
Right.
covenant, covenant. If you're walking in covenant, the covenant, and it's not just keeping the commandments, but just being a balanced individual, a talmudim, a disciple. He's going to reward us with the knowledge to prepare for the bride to make herself ready. And so we are seeing how the enemy, they are they are not divided. We're divided. The enemy's not. They're working 24 hours a day on how they're going to overcome us, and they're only doing what the Father's allowing. And within the last year or two, a lot of things have happened. Technology knowledge has increased so dramatically, uh, on the fallen angel technology, which the book of Enoch says that there's a certain limit that once they cross that line, um, that angers the Father, because some technology is not to be uh, uh, given to the humanity by the fallen ones, and I believe we're crossing that realm already. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's see. So from here I went to so here I now now here I stayed here on this on the I stayed here that um that it ends the 40 Jubilee around March, and then it starts the 81st Jubilee. Now I've been studying the Jubilees now, and I made a little mistake there. It's a little close, but I'm working on that. I'm working on that. I'm just seeking Him on that, and but I believe we're close. I believe we are close, very close, um, because of the way we're being shown things, and so just the more we get together like this too, the more we will shine. Well, not shine, but we can provoke or compel each of us to go study more. Say, oh, that's good. I'll go and I'll study this, and then you'll find out more stuff. You'll connect dots in your mind, or on your notes, that brings something forward that you had questions about. And I believe that's what happened to you, right, Sister Gina?
Yes, yes. I mean, I listened to your presentation and I was scratching my head. Well, they don't quite fit, but let's see how he came up with that. And then I found out, well, I see how he came up with that because he had different information than I did. And what that, well, I guess you didn't even have that information, but I found the information to be true.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's good. I mean, we have to be able to
Mm.
line this stuff up properly.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, and I'm also flexible if I'm wrong. Like I just told you on the 80 Jubilees, there's something there in 70 AD. Something did happen, uh, and I think I'm onto something, but I'm not sure. But I know that he will reveal it. Um, he'll give us something. Because what I like to do now is I like to establish that this information that I put out, this with the spreadsheet like this, that that it now matches in line with the Jubilees, that we're real close. Um, because we cannot, according to my understanding of the scriptures, uh, after the 7,000 years, or as we enter the age of Aquarius, that is when the seventh millennium kicks off. And so now I'm also learning too a lot of things that after the tribulation, the bowls, the seven bowls of the seven vials of wrath will be poured out. So there's going to be people after the tribulation. And a lot of people don't teach that. But I just discovered this 2 weeks ago. I didn't know it either. I just learned it myself. That if you go to, I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you because it'll make sense. It'll make sense. Uh, Revelation 15. Okay, it says here, the seven messengers with the seven plagues. Then I saw another sign in the heavens, great and awesome, seven angels having the seven last plagues, for in them was the wrath of Elohim filled up. And I saw the sea of glass mingle with fire. Now, this sea of glass is the same pavement of sapphire that we see in Exodus 24:10 when the Messiah married ancient Israel. It was like a chariot of fire, his throne. So he brought his throne from the heavens to marry ancient Israel. And that's when the ecclesia was born. And it says here, verse 2, and I saw the sea of glass mingled with fire, and those who had gotten the victory over the beast, over his image, and over his mark, and over his number of his name, standing on the sea of glass with harps, lyres of Elohim. And they were singing the song of Moshe, the servant of Elohim, and the song of the Lamb. So these right here are the people that overcame the mark, who weren't sealed as the 144,000, who overcame because they had to fend for themselves. And so we don't want to go through that. We want to give everything that we have to Yahuwah right now, so that when the outpouring of the fire of the double portion of Eliyahu comes, that he that we receive that fire, and that we become part of this 144,000, where we will be protected from the matrix. But we will be under the rod of iron of Messiah. And that was what the message was last week, this Shabbat that we had. But yeah, so this is very important, because now we're really seeing, because people will tell you we're not appointed to wrath. No, we're not, because the wrath doesn't come till at the very end, after the tribulation, and it's right here in the scripture. And so it's very, very interesting how we have these groups. We have the 144, we have the great multitude, and we have the ones that, are not going to make it. But so here we're starting to see a picture of how things are going to line up, as far as the tribulation, as far as the Jubilees, as far as the calendars, because we know that Messiah has to return, or we will enter into his rest in a Shemitah, or I would say, I don't know, Sister and Robert, do you believe or suppose that we will cross the Jordan into the promised land on the first year of a Jubilee?
Uh, I don't know about that, but can I bring something else out right quick? And maybe it might help us think about this because as far as the way the Jubilees work.
Okay.
So in 2030 is the 40th Jubilee from 70 AD when the temple was destroyed. Okay. So that's one way to look because that was during the 81st Jubilee and it was the 12th year within that Jubilee. 2030 is in the 121st Jubilee and it's the 12th year within that Jubilee. So if you go year by year, it's the exact year within that 81st Jubilee as it will be in this Jubilee. But you can also say that the 70th Jubilee was 2019 from when the Israelites entered into the promised land. So there's different Jubilee periods is what I'm trying to say to work into all of this and the way it works out because it doesn't have to be like we don't have to count exactly from like the start of the Jubilee. Like I said, it's the 12th year within the 81st Jubilee, and then it's the 12th year within the 121st Jubilee. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I looked
You
at
see
it
what I mean?
as you were talking. So I noticed that too while John was talking about 70 AD, that it was right here in the 12th year of the 81st Jubilee.
Right,
Is your 70 AD, your judgment on the temple.
right.
So you have your 12th year, 70 AD. And if you go all the way to what you said in 2030,
Are you showing your screen, or are you want? Do we need to switch our screens,
and you
or are you still see? Which screen are we seeing right now?
Roberts.
Oh, we are. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know. Okay, so let me. Okay, cool.
And so right there's that. It matches up to the 12th year in the Jubilee cycle to this 2030.
Okay, and so that's 40 Jubilees apart. Okay. And then if you want to do the 70 Jubilees from the time the Israelites entered into the promised land, that gives you 2019, the date 2019.
Okay.
There's just, you can have a Jubilee count starting somewhere within a Jubilee period to somewhere within another Jubilee period, or you can have a Jubilee count from the start of a Jubilee to the start of another Jubilee. You see, it doesn't have to be the same every which. It's like we said before, there's wheels within wheels,
So
right?
it doesn't have to be Yahuwah's Jubilee, like what would start here. You're just saying they could be telling you that the amount that you need to count from one date to another is a Jubilee.
Right.
Oh, like from feast to feast, like times and a half. It's from feast to feast. It could be Passover to Passover, tabernacles to tabernacles. Is this what you're saying about Jubilees?
Yes,
Yes.
that's a good way to explain it, I think. Is that right, Robert?
Yeah, it would be a measurement of time. So
Right.
calling something, like from today's date that we're in, and we just say, hey, in a Jubilee from this time, you would go 50 years to in the future. So it would be using it as a measurement of time to calculate.
Yes.
Right. So,
But the 121st is from uh, creation.
Yeah.
right. So the 2019 would have been the end of the 120th from creation, right? Is that what you said? Yes. And that's 70 Jubilees from the time they entered the promised land, which was on a Jubilee. And then they
Mm-hmm.
started your count because it says in the scriptures, then you start your count for the sabbatical years, right?
Correct. Yes.
So then
Yes.
they started because that's the first year for their count again. And
Well,
so,
yeah,
Uh-oh. Sorry.
that's okay.
Up, Mike.
Well, can we say that that because there's patterns in scriptures that because Israel entered in the promised land at the beginning of the Jubilee, that we will too, because that's what I'm looking at. I'm thinking now that even though the tribulation's over with, um we are going to see the sign of Messiah in the sky. That doesn't mean he's going to touch the ground yet. That means that he's going to be on his chariot. He's going to be on his throne, just like he was in Exodus. He didn't touch ground, but he was there. He was on his throne with a sea of glass. Now there will be a time where he gets off his throne, and then he will step on the Mount of Olives. That's a different time zone. But that will happen, I believe, somewhere after 2031, something like that. Uh, but I believe that we will what I'm seeing now, what I'm being shown in the scriptures is that we're going to be fighting. Um, we're going to be in a war. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We're going to be in a war with the enemy, a war that was never finished by the Watchers. Um, because
okay.
that war had, yeah, that war. That's what I was talking about this on this Shabbat. The 144 they're warriors, they're priests, but they're going to be trained. They're going to be under the rod of iron of the Messiah, and so there's if you go to Revelations 26, this is what he says about, or no, or Revelations 2. This is what he says about. He says well, let's see. He says, the one who overcomes, I will give them the right of the hitman. Okay, that's not it. He says, the one who overcomes, I will give him authority to overcome nations, and he will break them as a potter's vessel, and just as I received from my father. So we're going to be like ancient Israel. We're going to be warriors. We're going to be spiritual warriors. He's going to be fighting for us, of course. But so I believe there's going to be a lot of things happening before we enter into the promised land. So it makes sense that there's going to be some years once we come out of the tribulation, and then we meet him on Mount Sinai, and then sometime during that, it's not going to be 40 years like it was the first time. It'll be less, but we will enter the promised land at the beginning of that Jubilee year. That's my interpretation. I could be wrong.
It
No,
does.
well,
It
go ahead,
does
Rob.
it does talk about in uh, the days are going to be shortened, in the end. But
Yeah.
otherwise, all flesh would be consumed by the beast. I mean, could it be possible that we would see some years just completely erased off of the end of the calendar? This would be the shortening of days
Or
because
could it
Well,
be that 40th Jubilee at 2030, or another Jubilee cycle somewhere in your 2032 that we need to look for? Isn't that what you had on your paper? 2032,
um,
2031,
yeah,
and
yeah, 2031, 2032, yeah, somewhere in that time slot. Yes.
because we have the timestamp already of the 40th Jubilee in
Yeah.
2030. So maybe,
Yeah.
we can look through the scriptures and see if there's another Jubilee timestamp coming after that.
Because
From something else that happened
yeah.
before.
May I add something?
Sure.
yes,
So a long time ago, before I came into this knowledge, and even when I did come into the knowledge, it's not until maybe 2 years ago, where I was still thinking that a Jubilee was 50 years. It was 50, 50, 50, 50, not 49, because how it works out in the Dead Sea Scrolls. And because to me 49 was just too difficult to figure out, so 50 was easier. But I'm starting to find patterns now in the 49 years. So because I even broke it down to from 50 to 25 to 12 and a half to 6.5, and trying to figure out timestamps there, because we know there's patterns in the scriptures, and we got to take into consideration what Messiah said, as in the days of Noah. So if we find patterns in the days of Noah, he's going to reveal us some things. Um, I did yesterday when I was reading Enoch. It did say when Noah's father, he was frightened when he was born. He thought he was part fallen angel. He thought
Mhm.
he was a messenger, and he went to his father Methuselah, and then he prayed, and he says, no, no, no. Noah is going to be shown what he needs to do. He's going to prepare. He's going to lead the people, and so he's going to make preparations. And so I believe that a lot of people will tell you no one knows the day or the hour. Well, of course, we're not telling you the day or the hour. But he told us to watch for the seasons. He told us to watch, therefore, and pray. So he does want us to watch and pray and look out for the seasons, the Mishmarots. And so, um, I believe that if we are true to him, somewhere in the future, when it's time and it's needed, and it's on a need to know basis, he will let us know.
Yep.
Remember Robert? I don't know if you remember, because I I forget what it was about, but I think a while back I sent both you and Sarah something about um if you did Jubilees by 50, it came up to this number, and if you did it by 49, it came up by this number.
Mm-hmm.
That I can't remember that. I'm gonna have to go back and revisit that, because that might be just another pattern like he's thinking about here
Oh, okay.
that ends up on something.
Yeah. I know this has been an in-depth calendar study, but does anyone have any questions thus far? And it doesn't even have to be about this. It can be about, the elementary basics of the calendar.
Yeah.
But
Well, I'd
yeah,
like to add something, if you don't
okay,
mind.
go ahead.
Because of the interest in the last time that we had a discussion, we were discussing the Jubilees, and then a little bit, and then after the end of that discussion, that fellowship that we had, it was voted amongst us in the Telegram channel that they want to learn the calendar. So and that's fine. I think that it's a good idea. That I start, brother, you got a lot of stuff. I've got a lot of stuff. We can maybe start from the very basics, the basics of maybe we missed something at the beginning that we can say, oh, you know what,
Yeah,
this makes more sense. So sometimes it's good to go to the beginning and maybe relearn something that we might have missed.
absolutely. Yes, Laura, you got your hand up.
Yes. I've never had an interest or any understanding regarding the desire to know the calendar. And the thing I just kept asking myself in the last few times that the calendar has been brought up by John and all his presentation, and it kind of, other than trying to figure out the math part of it, the whole thing of figuring out jubilees and all of this just seems very complicated. And I thought, but why? What is the desire to know this? For me, I was like, why do I have this desire? It seems that you all have dedicated so much into the study of this, and to to come to conclusions for the reasons you have in your heart. But I just wanted to share that, in asking that question of why do I want to know, what is the meaning of this? What is the importance of this? And um, Father just put it in front of my eyes to read something someone else had written regarding the the whole thing of the calendar being restored to us is for the sacred days that he has appointed for us. And as John mentioned earlier, uh, for those who want to know our Yahushua in this place, to be able to take part and be prepared for those appointed times, it's very exciting when because if I go all the way back to when I came out from Christianity, institutional training, all of that, um, the hunger was there to know and to love our Yahuwah, and I just really it was giving up all of the pagan stuff, when he began to reveal all of that, and to replace it with this. But the meaning of all of this is just it's really striking and getting to my heart. And I would just like all of you to know how much I appreciate the work you've done. I wouldn't know where to begin with this. Um, it's pressing my brain to understand all of this in bits and pieces. So I don't even know an elementary question to ask, brothers. But perhaps if you do get started in the elementary things of however you might present it, I'm sure questions will come. So thank you so much for this evening.
No problem.
And you ladies too. You ladies too. I know you've contributed quite a bit in the study of all of this. So
It's all the
I'm
ladies.
very, I'm very excited.
It's all on them.
Oh,
So for me, the
praise.
calendar was important because I wanted to make sure that I was on the right calendar. And as soon as I was led to this calendar, uh, it became very evident that it was a prophetic calendar. There's all the prophetic events, the scriptural historical timelines start fitting on this calendar. You all of a sudden you realize, wow, the calendar is important. It's not, people say you can become hyper focused and, oh, it's not all about the calendar. Well, that is true, but knowing the calendar uh, can take your faith and your spirituality to a whole nother level.
Yeah, I would say that is exactly what I'm seeing here and experiencing with you all. Yeah, it's quite interesting. Um, and well, I don't know how long you've all been at it, but even the language you use and how you speak about it is different. So I'm very happy to be learning.
Well, I'd like to say that y'all have thrown out a lot of different numbers that I've not been hearing before. And a few other things. Robert, I was wondering if you could elaborate when you said that Jubilee is a measurement of time. Now, I have been under the impression that that measurement of time was the 50th year. And then I think maybe Gina said that the Jubilee could start and end within different specific times. Did I hear that correct?
Yeah, what we were referring to is that when something refers to a jubilee of time, that quite possibly this could be meaning not this jubilee, not from Yahuwah's jubilee, but counting from, let's say, 2030, count back in time one jubilee of measurement of time. So, then that would put you back here to 1981.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just saying, counting in how Jubilees talks about a week of years, and it just gives you a measurement of time.
Correct.
That's kind of what we were playing around with.
Okay. So as it pertains to the calendar, what is the measurement of time? I mean, is it going to be a solar, a lunar, or is the measurement of time going to be the priestly cycle to count these 49 years plus one?
The number is 7. So the primary number that you have to just maintain in your calendar is 7. Um, any breakage of 7, these days out of time, non-days, you can't have that break. So 7 is that is the main cog. It's the main cog turning everything.
Right.
If you add a cog or you take some cogs away, you're not going to move the clock properly. But yes, I think the way we all see it is the sun counts your days. Pretty Nothing can block out the sun except Yahuwah. Yahuwah can block the sun out.
Right.
So the sun is the day counter, but we don't rely 100% on the sun because we know the sun is on a different cycle than Yahuwah's 364.
Right.
And I was telling Sherry earlier, I think Yahuwah did that for a reason because he is set apart from his own creation. And he doesn't want us to go, oh, well, we can just forget the 364. We can forget our priesthood and Yahuwah. We can just start looking and worshiping the sun. And that's why he put his set apart numbers 7, 364, 49, 50. He put his set apart numbers from the luminaries and creation itself. That way we don't go astray and start worshiping creation, which is what we see our brothers and
Right.
sisters who are solar Sabbatarians and lunar Sabbatarians. They've kind of pushed the priesthood away and said, we're going to follow one luminary, and that's going to be our calendar. And that's an error, if you ask me.
Right. We've
But
been on this for a long time and pretty much followed every calendar at one point in time except the lunar only or solar only calendars, the only ones that we haven't tried to test and measure.
yeah, they don't pass the filter of the Torah.
They don't.
And that's why we've discovered that these priestly courses are so important. This Mishmarot cycle of 6, this pattern, with Gamul and Shechaniah, and they're just lining up to these events in history, and it's like it just happened itself. As soon as we figured this out, as soon as Gina and Sarah put together the Mishmarot and found 2019 to be the anchor, and then she just ran it back in time and ran forward. It's incredible how things lined up.
Oh, I was going to ask you that. Do you have a time either backwards or forwards that the lunar pattern lines up with the 2019 beginning?
Um, I forget, was it in the 1700s, Gina? So the lunar, this full moon Wednesday equinox, you can do some research, and it's a one in a millennia event, and they even say it could be even 2 millennia event that's going to actually line up, where the sun and the moon both line up on the equinox with the full moon.
So how do we know where we are in time at 2019 if it doesn't follow a set pattern of going backwards for us to follow?
Well, I know I believe, and others believe that Genesis, the creation week, was when he created the sun and the moon and the stars. That would have been on Abib 1, and we believe that was when the sun was created, he put it in the equinox position. If for a lack of a better term, he put the sun in the equinox position. He put the full moon, coming up right behind it, because I believe the moon was created full, not dark or not a sliver. So that is the first sign, and I call it a calendrical formula, Yahuwah's formula for like how a perfect year is going to start. And that's also what we've kind of gleaned that Enoch in Enoch's calendar he's talking about. we've become to believe that that's one perfect year. It looks like this year of Gamul. It looks like the creation year, the week of creation. So now, how do we know the pattern is fitting and incorrect? The book of Jubilees it was a bombshell. As soon as we lined this Mishmarot up to the calendar, and like I said, when we ran it back, I'll just show you the different places that Gina mapped out from the book of Jubilees that just they started lining up. That's Messiah. Even we just found one. Gina found one with Ezekiel. Ezekiel was a priest, and he was born, I think it was on Gamul, and went into captivity on Gamul. And that was the year he was supposed to be ordinated as a priest. Is that correct, Gina?
Yes.
Right. And that lined up to this. I don't have it highlighted though. But if we just simply follow this Mishmarot pattern back, let's get to
Yeah,
where.
I'm still working on the Ezekiel timeline, but that part, yes.
So yeah,
I think we should explain what we did with this is just took the Dead Sea Scrolls 6 Jubilee timeline, the 6 sets of Jubilee written out in the Dead Sea Scrolls, and used that pattern by sets of 6 all the way back to creation. And that's all we did, was just write the dates, just keep writing dates backwards all the way to creation.
Yeah, let's go all the way
From
back.
the pattern right straight out of the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Okay.
And that is nothing that we made up. We just used the pattern that was in there and put the dates all the way back, and then started matching. And my first goal is let's see if the Jubilee years in the Dead Sea Scrolls will go back and match in with the book of Jubilees, because I kept getting so much different information from a secular history and different stuff. And I said, well, what if it matches with the book of Jubilees? Let's try it. And that's where we started with, is going back, and we found out. So going back and using those sets of 6, like you can see on here, it says the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and then second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, using the same pattern that was in the Jubilees, and it matched right back. It matched with that year that Moshe was told to go back to Egypt, right? Like the book of Jubilees. So then I was really excited, and I said, okay, well, let's just keep going, all the way through the book of Jubilees.
Right. Let's
And
just look at this.
I'm a puzzle person, so that you can ask my husband. He kept yelling at, come out and watch the sun set. Come out and watch this. Come out. No, John, I gotta finish this. I gotta finish these numbers.
So like, just take this for instance,
Yeah.
the pattern got all the way back to Gamul, who is supposed to start the Mishmarot.
Right.
And then Jubilees 3:12 says that Adam and Hava in the garden 7 years in the first Jubilee. That matches up right back to Gamul.
Yeah.
And
that's interesting.
right. And then so the next one, Abel is born, Jubilees 4:1, that's on a Sabbath year. Awan is born, Jubilees 4:1, on a Sabbath year. All these things keep matching. It is amazing that Cain is born on a Sabbath year. Yahuwah, he's the first kids are being born on the number 7.
Well, and like Robert found in Ezra, different dates that match. We just keep working and finding different dates that keep matching on this, and it's nothing but the Dead Sea Scrolls in the book of Jubilees.
Yes.
Okay.
It's nothing. It's none of our doings. It's just writing the numbers backwards and using the pattern that the Zadok priest left us of those Jubilee years.
Wow.
And
But
the sixth
I
would be
think
the 294 years.
Right, right. Sets of
Yeah.
294. Sets of 294. And I just kept printing off those sets of 294 and keep writing the numbers backwards. And that's the way it worked out.
all right. Well, thank you.
that Enoch is
Yeah.
born on a Gamul. The things that just keep hitting with Jubilees is no coincidence. It's it's amazing.
Yeah,
Right.
even Methuselah.
Yes, on a sabbatical.
Yeah.
Well, I sure appreciate all the hard work y'all put into this. When I watched the videos where you attach the lunar cycles for those 6 years, they matched up. I mean,
Hmm.
you can chart things down, but when you see people from thousands of years ago charting the same thing down for a reason, and they had a reason to do that, and to find that, knowing that people back then were still working to find this appointed time of our Father, just
That's like Robert said, to have us be able to witness those same 6 years from what they witnessed over 2000 years ago is amazing.
mhm.
That's amazing. And
Absolutely.
the whole 6 years we were, well, the last few years we didn't have all those pieces, but uh we got the last ones. But so many years we watched and we kept thinking, well, how is this going to line up with the intercalculary week? And then it just went into place
Hmm.
because we added a week when we shouldn't have added. It's a journey.
It is a journey.
The journey.
We
We got to keep walking the path and keep working out the journey. We can't set anything down to say, in the future everything's going to be exactly this way, because I believe Yah reveals as we go.
I
In
wouldn't
agreement.
surprise me a bit at all.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've crunched numbers, saved it, looked at it years later, and go, well, that don't work, throw it away. Over and over and over again. And I found if you take a really hard stand on the calendar, you'll eat your words.
Yep.
So I just appreciate different understandings, different thoughts. Like I said, everyone here tonight just throwed out quite a few different numbers that I haven't considered before. So that's some more numbers I get to crunch. So thank you.
Well, thank you for joining in with us.
Brother John, what was that date you had for the temple destruction? It was the
Uh,
month of
the
Av.
9th of Av. Yeah, the 9th of Av. Yes, that was the 9th of Av. I believe the 9th of Av. That's the 10th month, I believe.
I think that's something. Was that not in August? Is that in
It was
August?
just, yeah, that's in August. Yes, that's in August. You're right. Yes.
I think that's
No,
what
it's not the 10th month. It's not the 10th month. It's more like the 5th
six.
month. Oh, the 6th month. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coincidentally, it's the same month and day that the first temple was also destroyed. I don't think there was a coincidence.
August 4th, 70 AD.
There you go.
It'd be interesting to see what priest was in on duty.
Yeah.
So that would have been a year two. August. August. Oh wait, August 4th, 70 AD is what that one is telling me. So it's in a week of Gamul.
The moon, yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Very interesting.
That is, I gotta write that down. That is interesting. See, these are puzzle pieces we like.
Right.
Yeah.
August 4th. I wonder what
So could it be that that the first temple was also destroyed on the week of Gamul?
the first one?
What
Yeah.
year was that in?
Oh,
I had it. I have it in this timeline somewhere.
It would have been
um, wrote it down
Look it
yesterday.
up.
Is it on this paperwork?
No,
Okay.
it's 586, 587, 586.
Okay.
So
So it's in a Gamul year. What do we have a precise date in the scriptures of that?
Uh,
well, I thought, did you not say it was the same August 4th?
That's what John was wondering.
I was asking.
Oh,
Let me see. It's just that if I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't because of the way the Father works. Um,
Yeah, it says 587 or 586.
yeah.
Uh, there was a
Uh,
30-month siege. So,
Second Kings 25.
so per Jewish tradition, it says the first and second temples were destroyed on the same
Right.
9th of Av.
Well, here it is. It's in Second Kings 25:8. And in the fifth month, there you go. There's that fifth month, the fifth of Av. In the seventh day of the month, it was the 19th year of King Nebuchadnezzar, king of Nebuchadnezzar, Babylon, the chief. That's when he burnt the house of Yahuwah. So there it is, right there.
So in the 5th month on the 19th day.
It says here on the fifth month on the seventh day of the month, it was the 19th year of King Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. It doesn't give us a jubilee or anything like that. All it does is give us it was on the fifth month.
Okay. So if it was
well,
580,
I think we just need the year. Well, no, I guess.
yeah, the Google says it's
Oh,
either 587 or 586.
yeah,
So either one is a we have a sabbatical year for
yeah,
587 and we have a year one of Gamul 586.
right.
This month, 7th day of the month. So if it was a Gamul year, it was Immer would have been the priest on a day 1, 2, 3, 4, on a Thursday, which would be a day 5. What does Immer's name mean? Immer's name, he will say. But if it's a year 6,
In the 6th year, wouldn't that be Thupa?
Yes. Oh no, the seventh of the fifth month would be Yakim.
Oh, the 7th. I thought you said the 18th. I'm sorry. Yeah, it would be Yakin.
Yahuwah will raise up.
Hmm. You raise up a living tabernacle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll raise up Melchizedek.
Hmm. Yeah. The tabernacle of David. That's tied to it too.
Yep.
I got papers everywhere.
Okay.
And I'm missing Jubilee 67, I get somewhere. I got more than one set, but anyway. So,
then,
Robert, I hate to say this, but it is thundering outside, and I better go check on my boys
okay.
out
Yeah,
there. I'm sorry.
well, I think we got a really good study in.
Yeah.
And we can go ahead and call it. And we'll just ask anyone if they have any final questions before we call it. Okay. Well, thanks everyone for coming. It's good to finally get to meet you, David, Wayne,
Thank you.
and Sarah and Mike. Thank you guys for coming. Laura, Sherry, everyone. And thanks, Brother John. Appreciate you all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gina.
Thank you.
Y'all bless you all and have a great week.
Amen.
Bye.
Hallelujah. Are you
Bye-bye.
gonna record this,
Thank
brother?
you. Hallelujah.
Yes,
Thank you, brother.
it's recorded.
Are you gonna post it on your channel, the YouTube?
Yes, I think I'm going to start posting these. I haven't posted any, um, but yeah, this was a good one.
Yeah, this is a good one, brother. Yeah.
All right,
Thank
let's
you,
do
brother.
it. Shalom, shalom, y'all.
Shalom, shalom.